I told you that falling doesn't mean you failed? That stumbling is not the end, but the start of something bigger? We live in a world that glorifies perfection, standing tall, never showing weakness, keeping it all together. But life has a different curriculum. Life teaches us resilience not by avoiding falls, but by walking straight into them. I've fallen more times than I can count, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and every single time I discovered something new. Strength isn't about never falling, it's about rising again, sometimes slower, sometimes shakier, but always stronger. Welcome to InspireAbility, the space where real stories remind us that brokenness is not the opposite of strength, it's often the birthplace of it. I'm Ruby, and today's episode is about the rhythm of falling and rising. I know what it's like to hit the ground, literally and figuratively. After my accident, I thought the worst fall was behind me, but the hardest falls often came afterwards. The stumbles at home, the collapses in private, the emotional crashes no one saw. This episode is not about pretending that falling doesn't hurt. It does. It bruises the body, the pride, the spirit, but it's also about the gift hidden inside the rise, and how every single fall becomes part of the story that shapes us. So if you've ever asked yourself, how do I get back up again? You're in the right place. The first fall is unforgettable. Mine happened just days after I came home from hospital. I thought I was ready to be independent, determined to prove to my kids that I was still me. But as I moved across the room, I lost balance. I slipped hard onto the floor. The shock of pain radiated everywhere, but worse than the physical sting was the silence that followed, the kind that screams shame. I remember lying there, fighting. Tears, my children rushed in, their eyes wide with fear. And in that moment, I thought, I'm not the parent they knew anymore. I'm not strong, I'm not capable. But do you know what I learned later? The first fall teaches you that strength doesn't disappear when you collapse. It's tested, reshaped, reborn in how you choose to rise. That day, my children didn't see weakness. They saw honesty. They saw a mother who got back up, with help, with dignity, with courage. And it changed the way I saw myself. But not all falls leave bruises on your skin. Some leave scars on your soul. There were nights when I broke down crying, not from physical pain, but from the crushing weight of grief. The grief of losing the woman I once was, the grief of missing out on parts of my children's lives, the grief of feeling invisible in rooms where I once commanded presence. Those emotional collapses were heavy. I didn't always know how to rise from them. I'd lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, wondering if life would ever feel whole again. But here's the truth. Falling emotionally doesn't mean you re-weak, it means you re-human. Tears are not a betrayal of strength. They're proof that your heart is still beating, still fighting. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is let yourself fall apart so you can learn how to rebuild. My rise didn't look like walking across the room, it looked like walking into my truth. Accepting that I wasn't who I used to be, but also that who I was becoming was valuable, purposeful, and worthy of love. Strength is not about how fast you get up. It's about having the courage to rise in the way that's true for you. Here's what surprised me most. I didn't have to rise alone. Every time I fell, there were hands waiting, family, carers, friends, even strangers who noticed a stumble in public. At first, I resisted their help. I thought needing others made me less, but I realized something. Strength isn't solitary, it's shared. When we rise together, we multiply courage. When I let my children see me fall and rise again, they learned resilience for their own lives. When I leaned on my community, I discovered deeper bonds than I'd ever known. Rising together doesn't just lift you, it lifts the whole world around you. Do I still fall? Yes. Do I still feel the sting of shame or frustration? Absolutely. But here's what's different now. I no longer fear the fall, because I trust the rise. Every fall teaches me something. Every rise reminds me of my strength. And every cycle, fall, rise, repeat, has turned me into a woman who isn't afraid of breaking, because she knows she will always rebuild. Life isn't about avoiding falls. It's about embracing the repeat, knowing that every stumble is part of the dance of becoming who you're meant to be. If you're enjoying this episode, please tap that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our empowering episodes. And don't forget to share inspiring abilities with someone who could use a lift today. Now I want to talk to you about how this episode made you feel. Did you resonate with any particular part? How has your understanding of strength evolved over time? I'm genuinely interested to hear your thoughts. Drop them in the comments below. Also, is there a quote from this episode that really resonated with you? Maybe a line that you feel sums up your journey or gives you hope for the future. If you have a favorite, please share it. Let's make this a vibrant community where we lift each other up with words that inspire and empower. And I'd like to end this conversation with an invitation. Do you have a story you'd like to share, a piece of advice you want to pass on, or even a question you'd like to ask? Please post it in the comments below. I read every comment and I promise to reply to everything I can. You never know, your comment might even inspire a future episode of InspireAbility. And while you're at it, if you found this episode helpful or inspiring, give us a thumbs up. It helps us reach more people with our message of hope and resilience. Thanks for being here. Your engagement makes this channel possible and keeps our mission of inspiring the world alive. Here's to falling bravely and rising stronger. Thanks for watching and see you next time.